Good morning, everybody. Today we are learning 3-2 linear functions day 2. And before that, we're going to do a very brief review on what is a function notation back in the day 1 of 3-2. So the whole point of function notation is to replace the variable y with a name such as f of x, g of x, or h of x. So you have three equations at the bottom, and they're on a slope-intercept form. And you notice that if I were to give you different equations or functions in the same problem, like for example, if I were to ask you, well, if x is 1, what's y equals to? You'll be like, well, which one of these are you talking about? Are you talking about the first equation? Are you talking about the second equation? Or are you talking about the third equation? Because if I were to plug in x to here, I'll get a different y. If I were to find an x value, given an x value here, I got a different y, and so on and so forth. So instead of naming every single one of them y, I will name this guy f of x is equal to 2x plus 1. And then I'll name this guy g of x, which is equal to 3x minus 2. And I'll name this guy c of x is equal to 1/2. And it does not matter what letter you use in front of the parentheses. I call this guy named F, I call this guy named G, and I call this guy named C. And of course there are 26 different letters in the alphabet, and you could feel free to use any one of them. And the letter inside the parentheses, in this case is X, it's just to show you that which variable is the independent variable. For example, if you have an equation that has like 2k plus 5, then of course I cannot use x in the parentheses. I have to write, let's say, g of k, for example. So in this case, this k and this k will match because k in this case is the independent variable. Another example would be like 2c minus 3. Well, in this case, we're going to, the independent variable is c, and I'm going to call it, any letter I want. Let's call it b. So b of c is equal to 2c minus 3. And that's all you need for the next lesson, which is 3-2 linear functions day 2. Well, today's lesson is 3-2 linear functions day 2. And since we already learned the function notation on day 1, we're going to combine some functions today as what we call the operations with functions. We're going to learn how to add functions, we're going to learn how to subtract functions, and we're also going to learn how to multiply functions. So in this problem, we have three different functions. The first one is f of x is equal to 2x minus 4. The second function, we call it g of x is equal to negative 3x plus 6. And then the last one, we call it h of x, which is just equals to 5 only. So in example 1, we're going to learn how to add two different functions. So in part A, it says, I want you to add f of x plus g of x. So what you're going to do is you're going to, out of the three functions, you're going to choose the one that says f of x. In this case, it's going to be the first one, which is 2x minus 4. So you're going to write this as 2x minus 4. And then you'll bring down the plus. And then you're going to find which of these three functions is g of x. In this case, the middle guy is named g. So you're going to copy negative 3x plus 6 like this. And then from here, all you have to do is to combine like terms. So out of the four terms, 2x and negative 3x are like terms. So 2x plus negative 3x is negative 1x. And then negative 4 plus 6 is going to be positive 2. So in this case, your final answer, f of x plus g of x, is negative 1x plus 2. So you're going to write like this. You're going to write your answer as f of x plus g of x is equal to negative x plus 2. And this is your addition of f of x plus g of x. On the next example, example 1b, well, this time they ask you to add another set of different functions, in this case g of x plus h of x. So again, out of the three functions, you're going to find the one that's named g. So in this case, it's the middle one. So you're going to write g of x as negative 3x plus 6. And then you bring down the plus sign and you find h of x, which in this case is the last one, and it's 5. then here all you have to do is combine like terms. Out of the 3 terms, 2 of which are like terms, which are positive 6 and positive 5. So 6 plus 5 is 11, so your final answer is negative 3x plus 11. So to write your answer, you write g of x plus h of x is equal to negative 3x plus 11. And then that's it. So in general, adding 2 different functions, it's just same as combining like terms. No different than combining like terms. And that's how you add 2 different functions. Well, in example 2, we are going to learn how to subtract 2 different functions. Here we have 3 different functions. This guy is named a of x is 3x minus 4. This guy named b of x is equal to negative 7x plus 1. And this guy named c, which is just equals to negative 3. So in example 2, we're going to learn in part A how to subtract b of x minus a of x. Now this is going to be a little bit different than adding 2 different functions. This one's subtraction. But the first step is going to be the same. B of x, you're going to find out of the 3 functions, which one is named b? Well, it's going to be the middle one. So you're going to replace b of x with negative 7x plus 1. And then you bring down the minus sign. And then for the a of x, you're going to find the functions, but you're going to put them in parentheses. So 3x minus 4 like this. Now, why do I have to put in parentheses? Because you're going to use distributive property from the negative to the 2 terms after the minus sign. So first you have to distribute the negative. So it's going to be negative 7x plus 1. Negative times 3x is negative 3x. Negative times negative 4 is positive 4. And from there, you combine like terms. Well, out of the 4 terms, I see that negative 7 and negative 7x and negative 3x are like terms. So you subtract them. So negative 7 minus 3 is negative 10. So negative 10x. And then after that, 1 plus 4. So the positive 1 and positive 4s are like terms. So 1 plus 4 is 5. So positive 5. So that means you're going to write your answer as b of x minus a of x is equal to negative 10x plus 5. And then that's your subtractions of b of x minus a of x. Let's try one more. What about if I were to ask you to subtract c of x minus b of x? Well, let's do the same thing. So we're going to find c of x, which is the last one, and it's negative 3. Then you bring down the minus sign, and b of x is going to be negative 7x plus 1, but it's going to be inside of parentheses. We're going to perform the same steps. So first, we're going to use distributive property from the negative to the 2 terms after the minus sign. So you're going to keep the negative 3, and then negative times negative 7x is positive 7x, and then negative times a positive 1 is negative 1. And then from here, out of the 3 terms, 2 of which are like terms, which are negative 3 and negative 1. So you're going to first write the 7x, and then negative 3 minus 1 is negative 4. You notice that for writing your answers is always in kind of like a slope-intercept form. So between the 2 terms, you always write the term that has an x first, then you write the numbers at the end of your answer. So you don't put negative 4 plus 7x, but you put 7x minus 4. So again, x always comes first, and then the constant is always goes last. So you're going to write your answer as c of x minus b of x is equal to 7x minus 4. And that's the subtraction of c of x minus b of x. Well, in example 3, you're going to learn how to multiply 2 functions. And this is going to be easy as well because we're going to just learn how to review how to distribute. So let's take a look at part A. Example 3a says c of x times a of x. Well, c of x in this case is negative 3. So you're going to put negative 3 and then multiply by a of x, which is 3x minus 4 in parentheses. And then you're going to use distributive property to multiply the 2 functions. Negative 3 times 3x is negative 9x. And then negative 3 times negative 4 is positive 12. And then boom, that's your answer after the distributive property. So you're going to write c of x times a of x is equal to negative 9x plus 12. And then that's your multiplication of c of x times a of x. Let's do one more. What about b of x times c of x? So you're going to find out of the 3 functions, the middle function is b of x. So you're going to write as negative 7x plus 1. And then times c of x, which is negative 3. Well, you're always going to put a parentheses around the function that has more than one term, as always. So you notice that every time we have a function that has more than one term, we put parentheses around it. So that way we could remind ourselves we're going to use the distributive property. That this time is like going backwards. So negative 7x times negative 3 is positive 21x. And then positive 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. So that means b of x times c of x is going to be 21x minus 3. And this is your multiplication of b of x times c of x. And that's pretty much the end of the lesson. Let's go to the homework problem of why are we learning this. Well, on your homework, title Homework 3-2 Linear Functions Day 2, which is going to be on your canvas, we're going to take a look at a couple problems so that way you know the expectations of showing work in this worksheet. Let's take a look at number 1. Number 1 that says, well, h of x is equal to f of x plus g of x. So they want you to find what is the sum of these two functions which are listed in this problem. Well, in this case, we're going to just copy it. So f of x is 3x plus 9, which is already done for you. And then g of x is negative 2x plus 5. So we're going to put it right here, negative 2x plus 5. Then from there, we're going to combine some like terms. We're going to group the like terms together. So on the second part, I see that 3x and negative 2x are like terms. So 3x minus 2x. And then 9 and 5 are like terms. You're going to put it together like this. So 3x minus 2x is just x. And then 9 plus 5 is 14. So x plus 14 is your final answer. Okay, let's take a look at more problems. Let's say if I were to do a subtraction on number 9. So I see that, well, if I were to show work, I first would say, well, j of x is equal to f of x minus g of x. I copy the problem first. And then from there, I replace what's f of x, which is 3x minus 1. And then you bring down the minus sign, and then g of x is 12x plus 12. Remember, for subtraction, you have to use distributive property on the second function. So you will get 3x plus 1, and then minus 12x minus 2. And then from here, you're going to combine some like terms. I see that 3x minus 12x is negative 9x. And then negative 1 minus 2 is negative 3. So to write your answer, you write j of x is equal to negative 9x minus 3. And then you box your answer like that. Okay? So you're going to perform the same type of work throughout the entire first page of this homework, 1 all the way through number 10. On the second page of homework, you notice that all of these are word problems, but there's not really a lot of calculations. All you have to do is read the problem and see if you are able to create functions out of each situation. Let's do one by one. Well, on number 1, it says you start as 2 savings accounts at a bank. You already have $26 in account 8, and you deposit $3 per week in account 8. On the other accounts, named account B, you already have $30, and you deposit $4 per week to account B. And let's say let W be the number of weeks. So it says write a function A of W that represents the total amount of money you deposit to account A after W weeks. So on the bottom, you're going to write A of W, okay? And it says in the account A, you already have $26, and then the slope or the rate is $3 per week. So you're going to write 3W first, right? Because it's you know the amount of money is $3 multiplied the amount of week the bank account has opened ever since, and then you plus the $26 that's already in it. So A of W is 3W plus 26. And then from there, I want to see if you could try how would you write B of W, and then I want you to kind of follow the same steps and write the functions for B of W. Then at the end for part C, it says write a function T of W that represents the total amount of money you deposit to both accounts after W weeks, and it says show work. Now, there's always a hint in each problem. It says you have to add 2 functions here. So that means T of W is equal to A of W plus B of W. And then after that, you're going to replace A of W with 3W plus 26. And then add. And then once you found the answer here in part B, you're going to put that in part C. And then after that, you combine like terms and you get T of W is equal to something. And I'll give you a hint. It's going to be something W plus 56. And that will be your answer for number 11. Let's take a look at number 12. Number 12 says Randy and I'm not quite sure how you say that word, but I just found it from the homework. So Randy and this guy both open savings accounts. Randy opens his savings account with $7 and deposits $10 every week, and then Hellos opens her savings accounts with $82 and withdraw $5 every week. Let W be the number of weeks. Well, it says write a function RW that represents the amount of money Randy has in his savings account after W weeks. So you're going to write RW is something W plus something based on how much money Randy has already and how much he's depositing every week, which is a plus, right? Now for part B, it'll be different because it says write a function h of w that represents the amount of money Hellos has in his savings account after W weeks. Now you notice that this person withdraws $5 every week. So your slope is not positive anymore. It's going to be negative. So it's going to be negative 5W plus whatever the amount he already has, which is this number, in his savings account. So, and then in part C, it says write a function B of W to represent the combined total in both savings accounts after W weeks. Again, you add the two functions together. So that means B of W is equal to R of W plus H of W. And then after that, you add those two functions. Once you got the answer in part B, you put these here, and you combine like terms, and then at the end, you get something W plus something, which I should write the W here as well, right? So you're gonna fill in, find out what are these two numbers equals to for the total amount of both savings account. Well, for number 13, it says you plan to open a lemonade stand near where you live. The cost to buy the woods to make a lemonade stand is $60, and the cost to make each cup of lemonade is $3. You plan to sell each cup of lemonade for $5, and it says let X be the number of cups of lemonade sold. In part A, it says write a function R of X that represents the total amount of money you earn from selling X cups of lemonade. Now, it says selling, so I see that I sell for $5 per cup. So when you write your answer, you write R of X is equal to, well, since you're selling $5 per cup, it's going to be 5 multiply the number of cups that you're selling. So it's going to be just 5x. Then in part B, it says write a function C of X that represents the total amount of money you spent on making the stands and the C cups of lemonade. So you're going to find out how much money you actually spend on making the lemonades before you sell it for $5 each. So you're going to write C of X. I see that, well, there are two numbers that I spent. I spent $60 on making the stands, and for each lemonade, it cost me $3 to make it. So I see that, well, since I need, it cost me $3 to make each lemonade, it's going to be $3 times the number of lemonades, and then plus the starting cost, because I need to buy the woods to make a lemonade, it's going to be 60. So it's be 3x plus 60. Then part C says write a function P of X that represents the total profit you earn from selling X cups of lemonade. And since you want profit, you're going to subtract the revenue by the cost. Because to find out how much money you earn, you put in pocket, don't you just subtract from the amount of money that you earn to the amount of money that you spend. So this is the money that you earned, this is the money that you spend, and the difference would be the money that is put in your pocket. So you're going to write P of X is equal to R of X minus C of X, right? And then for the R of X, it's going to be this. So you do 5X minus, and then C of X will be 3X plus 60. Now, again, don't forget to put parentheses and then distribute after, right? So once you distribute, I should get P of X is equal to blank X minus blank. And I want you to find the answer yourself. Well, on the last problem, it says you have a piggy bank with $30 already in it, and you put $2 each month into the piggy banks. There are 3 other siblings who are also doing the same thing. Each has a piggy bank with $30 already in it, and each sibling put $2 each month into each of the piggy banks. Let m be the total number of months. Well, in part A, it says write a function y of m that represents the total amount of money just you, not your siblings, you have in your piggy bank after m months. Well, remember, you are putting $2 each month, and you already have $30 in it. So it's going to be 2 times the number of months plus your starting amount that is already in the piggy bank, which is 30. So this is you right there. Then you're going to write another function in part B, P of M, that represents the total number of people who are having the same saving pattern as you. Well, how many people you have total? You have you plus 3 other siblings. So total you have 4 people right there, 4 of them, right? So that means your P of M is going to be just 4, right? Just 4. That's it. You're not multiplying anything. You're not adding, subtracting anything. It's just 4 because it's 4 people, right? Then at the end, you write the function T of M that represents the total amount of money in all 4 piggy banks after M months. And it's a show work. Well, the hint is, well, to do that, don't you multiply, right? Multiply these. You have 4 people, each one doing the same thing. So don't you multiply them to find a total amount of money? So at the end, you have T of M is equal to P of M times Y of M. Well, in this case, P of M is going to be just 4, and then Y of M is going to be 2M plus 30. Well, you know you have to distribute this, so at the end, your T of M is going to be something M plus something. Again, you're going to find these numbers by yourself. So these are most of the answers and hints that I'm giving you on the second page of this worksheet, Homework 3-2 Linear Functions Day 2. And if you have questions, please let me know. Thank you so much.